Hi everybody, I hope you all had a lovely weekend. Now this video is going to be about sequins if you hadn't already guessed. I've been toying with the idea of doing a video on either Saturday or Sunday called Stash Bus Sunday or Stash Bus Saturday. Now this is the start of it, but this video won't be going up until Monday morning probably due to technical difficulties. But you don't want to hear about me and technology because it would be one long rant. So I thought I would do something to help us get rid of or use up some of the hoard, the massive hoard. Now I have a hoard of sequins because when the pound shop opened down the village here, I saw all these bags of multicoloured sequins and I thought that would be brilliant for my crazy quilting. And of course I had to buy one in every colour because you have to have one in every colour. You can't be limiting yourself in any way. And then I found when I went through them, I couldn't get that many sequins that matched. Like, I'll give you an example here. Do you see these leaf ones? Right, I'll open up the box. I can only find about a dozen or so of these, well, less than a dozen, and that's no use really for crazy quilting. And the same with these square green ones. What I need would be about 3 or 4 dozen sequins the same so that I could use them over a panel. But you can see here they're all different. They're not any use to me for crazy quilting. I'll have to go back to buying the more expensive sequins that all match, that are all the same in the one packet. And I'm left with piles and piles of these sequins and I'm not going to throw them out. So I came up with the idea, first of all, of using them to make flower centres, which worked very well rather than using flat back pearls or gems to just do it a bit differently. So I've put a plain round sequin in the back, on the centre first of all, and then put one of these little coloured snowflake sequins on top. Now these little fellows were only about $1.50 for the tub, and I couldn't leave them behind either. They'd be lonely in the shop if I didn't bring them home. But I'm left with thousands of them now. This will use up a few, but not that many. So I kept thinking, what could I do with them? I didn't want to throw them out. So then I remembered the Flowish Style journal that that's Betsy Doodle, sent me last week. And in it she had fused feathers between cornflake, between cereal bags. I thought, I'll give it a try. I'll try fusing the sequins. Now I'd no cereal bags because the only cereal we have here is oats, which are kind of in their own containers. So I asked all the girls in the knitting and crochet group I go to collect up their cereal bags for me, and they were very good. I got about 6 or 7 cereal bags. I'm always on the scrounge between the Tyvek envelopes and the cereal bags. Honestly, I'm a nuisance, but it worked very well. Now, the first person I saw doing this was Shannon Green. She has a video about it, I think that she made back in about 2015. Now I'll try and find the video and put the link to it in the description box. But basically what you do is you get a cereal bag. Now warning, there will be crunching. You open it up, you clean it out, and you put your sequins or whatever you're using. I could imagine using threads or maybe dried lavender flowers as well. So you put them on your cereal bag, something like this. Spread them out. I spread them out quite, so that there'd only be one layer of sequins. I spread them out as best I could and folded the other side over. And then, this is the most important bit, you need parchment. You need to put down a layer of baking parchment or something like this. Excuse it, I won't do it because there'd be terrible crinkles. You put a layer of baking parchment, or maybe even 2 layers, above and below your cereal bag, and then you iron it. Now, to get them to fuse, I found that I needed to use an iron that was almost on the cotton setting. Now, my iron is quite cool, so you'd have to kind of experiment with it and just be kind of careful. And there is a bit of a kind of a chemically smell sometimes, so you'd want to open the windows as well. Kind of safety first if you can manage it, but it worked very well. That is my dog yowling. She doesn't like me talking to myself. And that's some blue sequins. Now the blue sequins took a while to fuse. I had to iron them about 4 or 5 times. Green, more green. That came out very well. More blue, more green. And then my little friends, the snowflakes. And pink sequins. Once again, it's between 2 layers of folded cereal bag with baking parchment, this stuff on either side. Otherwise, your iron will stick to the cereal bag. And I also found that after I ironed them, I had to let it cool for about 10 seconds before I peeled off the baking parchment. Otherwise, the cereal bag came with it. The heat does that. You will see it crinkling and kind of scrunching up backwards from the cereal bag. And then I decided I'd make some embellishments. So here we go. I got out my die cutter. I made butterflies, flowers, and a heart. Now I wish I had had that for Valentine's, but life isn't perfect. What can you do? We struggle. Now I used the big thick Sizzix dies, the big dies for those. Now the die I've used the most is the Tim Holtz Tattered Florals. I know a lot of you have that, because I didn't want to use the thinner dies or a punch, because I was afraid that the sequins might get caught in the mechanism or bend and break the punch or the die. Anyway, these dies are very tough. They're supposed to, well, they cut nearly anything and everything, but it worked very well. I mean, look. So I'm quite happy with that, and I hope the girls continue to collect more cereal bags for me. And I'm going to maybe try the lavender another day. Only snag is that you will have to hoover afterwards, because there will be sequins everywhere. And I found too, if I didn't do the ironing part, if they weren't fused, when you start to cut into them, the sequins fall out and they go everywhere. So you just have to make sure that they're well trapped and well fused between the 2 layers of cereal bag before you start doing die cutting or cutting them out with the scissors or something like that. So I hope this gave people some idea of what to do with your sequins between the flowers and the fused bags and the embellishments. So I'll stop rambling now, and I hope you all have a lovely week ahead of you. Thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and love you and leave you. Bye.